Good evening, everybody. It is just after 7:30 on a Wednesday evening, and I felt tonight was the night to do a live show because there is so much to talk about. Now, I'm going to get into it in just 1 second. Before I do, I'm just going to make double sure that this has gone live and that people are joining. Make sure I'm not just running at the screen. It looks like we're good to go. We have Matt Berry saying good evening. We've got Ruben saying hello. We've got Sin Champion and we've got YouTube. So it certainly looks like we're live. It looks like the message is going out loud and clear. And yeah, there's lots to talk about. I'm just gonna very briefly, I'm just gonna comment on my Facebook, the link. Profile, send the link. Just because I've got Rob Plant on Facebook asking me, saying he can't find me online. So I've put a YouTube link up on my Facebook, and I'm going to get straight into it. And to give a hint as to the first topic to discuss tonight, let's go champ. Everywhere you go, I go. I'm the real champ. Let's go, champ. Look, some of these hardcore boxing fans, right, don't like Shannon Briggs. They find him annoying. They find him loud. They find his style boring. I got to say, I absolutely love Shannon Briggs. I love what he's doing. I think it's hugely entertaining. I think boxing needs the WWE style build-up much more than we currently get. I mean, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, they've been having a lot of back and forth recently. They've been tearing into each other. Eddie Hearn said it was quite impossible how bad Frank Warren's ticket sales have been for Saunders Lee, how bad Frank Warren's ticket sales has been for Terry Flanagan versus Derry Matthews. And you know what? A little bit of bad blood goes a long way with these things. You know, Terry Flanagan, Derry Matthews, two guys, you know, kind of run-of-the-mill type personalities. They're obviously better than run-of-the-mill type fighters, don't get me wrong. And then you get a guy like Shannon Briggs over here in the UK causing absolute mayhem. So Shannon Briggs has flown over to the UK. And I've got a theory on this, which I'll come on to in just a minute. But Briggs has flown over to the UK. He apparently has a one-way ticket. He has no plans to return home to the States at this particular moment. And he is calling out mostly David Haye, but also Anthony Joshua, also Tyson Fury. And he said he's not leaving till he gets a big fight. So, yeah, it is very exciting. I am a conspiracy theorist here. I think there's no way Shannon Briggs would have flown himself over at huge expense, put himself up in a hotel, brought what appears to be a team of people over with him, if there wasn't a fight on the horizon. And let's be honest, David Haye is fighting in May, which is 2 months away. He, as of yet, has not got an opponent announced. Like, there's lots of rumours flying around the press. People are saying Malik Scott. I thought Malik Scott would be likely. People were talking about an unknown German heavyweight called Michael Wallace or something of that nature. There was some suggestion he turned down a fight with Andre Fedosov. So, you know, let's see. David Haye's been putting a lot of hot air out there. He's been talking about Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown's come out. Lucas Brown has said definitively that he's not going to be fighting David Haye because obviously he has a press. He's got a mandatory obligation for Ezequendo, which he will have to fight or else be stripped of his belt, as I understand it. So it looks like the scene is set for David Haye to announce a big fight soon. And for me, it's all too coincidental that David Haye is, it's all too coincidental that David Haye is about to announce a fight. He doesn't have an opponent. And suddenly Shannon Briggs has flown himself over at vast personal expense with a team and is stalking David Haye, you know, standing outside his gym. Now, whilst I am suspicious of what is actually going on here, I have to applaud it. You know, for me, this is an excellent way of building a fight. And David Haye versus Shannon Briggs is not, for my money, a competitive matchup. It's not a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing from a technical boxing perspective. But what I would say is it is very much a fight that I am looking forward to seeing from a WWE perspective. It's going to be a hugely enthralling and entertaining matchup in that setup. It really is. You know, I cannot wait to see the press conference. I cannot wait to see Shannon Briggs turning up when David Haye's asleep and jumping in bed with him. I cannot wait to see Shannon Briggs turning up when David Haye's out for dinner and eating his steak off his plate. You know, David Haye is a savvy guy in terms of marketing himself, and so is Shannon Briggs. Actually, give credit to Shannon Briggs. He's not as thick as he makes out. He's a very, very bright guy in terms of how he's gone about raising his profile. And yeah, I think my gut instinct is that most likely we will soon see an announcement of David Haye versus Shannon Briggs, and I would presume that if Shannon Briggs was to lose the fight, that would be his way out of the sport. You know, he's 44 years old. Clearly, he's in tremendous shape, but you know, how much desire does he actually have at the top level? You know, for me, it looks like he wants one big payday before he goes off into the sunset. And with Klitschko now gone or tied up, with Tyson Fury now tied up, with Deontay Wilder now tied up, David Haye makes sense. You know, and it's I think it's a mutually beneficial arrangement for both guys. You know, Shannon Briggs, he carries real power in the first round or two of the fight. He really does. And you'd be foolish to rule out someone with the experience and the power of Shannon Briggs from any fight. You know, I guess he's always got a chance. But what I would say is, having seen Briggs fight, I think it was, forgive me if I've got this wrong, I think he fought Rafael Zambano Love, who's the guy who Anthony Joshua destroyed in a round or two. And, you know, after the first round had passed, Briggs literally just spent the whole fight following him around the ring, you know, trying to stop him and not being able to, and eventually just sort of, I don't know, falling asleep en route to a point victory, you know. So I think Shannon Briggs is dangerous for one or two rounds, but after that is someone who doesn't have too much to offer. And to be fair, David Haye at this stage hasn't proved that he's got much more to offer after one round either, because I think he's only done one round in the last 3 or 4 years, as we know. So, you know, the same question mark relies around David Haye. But David Haye is clearly fresher in his career. He's not as old as Briggs. He's not the fights of Briggs. He's not taking the beatings of Shannon Briggs. You know, the thing you can say about David Haye is he's never taken a beat down in a fight. Yeah, he lost in a boring one-sided matchup to Klitschko. Yeah, he got stopped early on in his career by Carl Thompson, but he's never had like a sort of absolute hammering, absolute beatdown like Briggs got off Klitschko. And, you know, with David Haye being 8-9 years younger, having had less fights, not having had that, you know, it's fair to say that David Haye is a much fresher guy. I expect at this stage that David Haye would have the edge in terms of outboxing Briggs. And I also suspect that, you know, David Haye would be able to fight longer into a fight than Shannon Briggs. I know that's another thing to say, because David Haye's always had his stamina issues. But, yeah, I just see Shannon Briggs having very little to offer after the first round or two. But, you know, regardless of that, I am extremely excited for the build-up. I hope this fight gets made. I actually think it's a more entertaining fight than David Haye versus Malik Scott, or David Haye versus, you know, Fedosov or someone like that. The Lucas Brown chat was always unrealistic. So with that in mind, for me, this fight makes, you know, a lot of sense for both guys. And I'm really looking forward to the build-up. So I'll go into the chat. Let me know your thoughts on Shannon Briggs versus David Haye. And, you know, are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? So, Jacob says, let's go, champ. Evening, Mike. Evening, Hypocrite Finder. Hello, James. Hello, John. Hello, Tom. We've got Tescott joining from New Zealand. Got Ruben. Let's go, Ruben. You're going to call in tonight, Ruben. We've got Yusuf. Jacob, we've already said. First happy, last beat. He says Briggs has already got a Haye fight. Jacob said he's guessing there'll be a press conference tomorrow. I don't disagree with either of you. Mike says Hearn went in deep on Warren this week. Yeah, but, you know, it's a fair point. It is actually a fair point about those ticket sales. Sean says, let's go Champ. Let's go, Sean. Tom says, hopefully it's Haye v Briggs. Mr. H wants the Champ to do it. Sean's in New Zealand. People are talking Audley versus Briggs, Bruno versus Briggs, Williams versus Briggs, Sprott versus Briggs. Oh, that's going to be David Haye. Callum says, evening, Callum. Evening, Amigon says, that Thompson fight shows how gassy Haye is. He put everything into the first 4 rounds and had nothing left. Yeah, I mean, since then, he's done 12 against Valiev, 12 against Klitschko. I appreciate what David Haye does do is become slightly lower volume. He doesn't fight like he used to, and he was even more measured against Mark Demori. But yeah, and Grant says he's just logged in. Can you give us an update on the Pulev, Chisora, and the IBF eliminator? Where does that leave to Cam Parker? And absolutely, yeah, I think I do understand this. So to Cam and Parker is a final eliminator, which will decide the mandatory #1 slot for the IBF title. And I believe that fight will have to take place by January 2017. So the winner of Takam Parker has to fight the winner of Joshua Martin. And I believe that is by end of January 2017. Now, it may be later than January 17, but that is my current understanding. Now, in between that, the winner of Martin Joshua may decide to take a voluntary fight, which they are perfectly entitled to do. And in this voluntary fight, they will fight anyone who's in the top 15 of the IBF rankings. So obviously fighters want to get themselves into the rankings in order to, be in with a chance of being selected for a voluntary fight. And there is a high chance if Chisora was to beat Pulev that Anthony Joshua would opt for a Derek Chisora voluntary fight before Takam versus Parker. But it won't affect Cam and Parker's, spot. It won't affect their mandatory fight. It's just that the new champion, if it is Joshua, or the old champion, if it is Charles Martin, will have time to take a voluntary, which was always the case anyway. So it's actually nothing new. Now, if they don't decide to fight the Chisora Pulev winner, they can fight anyone in the top 15. They can go straight to Cam versus Parker. And the winner of the Chisora Pulev fight will get a very high ranking within the IBF. Now, this is an eliminator. It's not a final eliminator. So what will probably happen is the Chisora Pulev winner will have to fight another very highly ranked IBF fighter for a final eliminator. So that's my understanding of it. If anyone disagrees with that, leave it in the comments. I'll work it out. I mean, I don't know it for a fact, but that's my reading of it. But in essence, this does not affect the Takam Parker situation. So that's my thoughts there. Ben says, evening, the Briggs fight will be entertaining when it lasts. Briggs is good for 4 rounds, if that. He is durable, Briggs. We've got to say that. Archie says, I think Briggs versus Joshua make more sense. So Joshua beat Martin. The fight would be big. I think Joshua will try and fight Chisora. I think Eddie Hearn will try and use domestic names to get it on pay-per-view. Beowulf says Chisora was pressuring him. Haye was gassing. People say that. I was at that fight, and I think too much is made of Haye being gassed. Like, when everyone was saying Haye was gassed, he absolutely hammered Chisora and knocked him out for the first time in his career. First happy, last beat. Ricky Burns, though. Absolutely. We're coming on to that. Grant says that's how he reads it. Thanks, Grant. Escobete says, hey, Tom. Great to see you streaming again. Thanks, Escobete. Thanks for joining. Grant says he's a subscriber from New Zealand, Team Parker. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the guys from New Zealand who tune in, which gives me... It's really good to speak to you guys, definitely. So we're moving on now. I'm going to open up the Skype lines. I say I'm going to open up the Skype lines as if it's if it's a big thing and we'll get a flood of callers, we usually get like 1 or 2 callers. But before we do, I just wanted to talk about a few other topics briefly. Martin Murray versus George Groves. Big fight in the super middleweight division in the UK. You know, that looks like a fight that is heading towards being made for the summer. Let's see if Eddie Hearn tries to make that pay-per-view. You know, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if George Groves versus Martin Murray is heading in that general direction with one of Hearn's superstar undercards. Potentially on the same bill will be Tony Bellew versus, do you know what? I don't have the guy's name in front of me, and I'm going to horribly butcher it. So my sincere apologies to all of his fans. It's a guy I have heard of. I think his name is something like Alunga Makubu or something of that nature. Makabu, maybe. You know, I think I've seen the guy fight once before, and from memory, he was pretty handy. But I need to look it up again. But it's a busy time for domestic boxing in Britain. Actually, it's not the superstar names, but Crolla Barroso, Burns and Bellew in world title fights, and you've got Martin Murray versus George Groves. So let me know your thoughts on those fights. We can discuss them one by one, or we can, you know, we can not. But I think it's interesting. For me, Crolla versus Barroso is going to be a very, very tough night for Anthony Crolla. You know, that is a tough ask for him. Anthony Crolla, one of the nicest guys in boxing. You know, I met him relatively recently, and I was really taken aback by what a genuinely nice guy he is. It's a tough ask. You know, this Barroso, southpaw, huge puncher, dominated Kevin Mitchell, who, in my opinion, is a better fighter than Anthony Crolla to begin with. Burns versus DeRocco for the light welterweight world title. I don't see Burns as the light welterweight, to be honest. For me, he doesn't look as good at that weight. You know, he looked fleshy, and I don't think it's ideal for him. But obviously, the opportunity's arisen, and fair play to him for going for it. This DeRocco again, who, you know, he's not someone who I've seen stuff on really. You know, light welterweight, I'm not going to claim it's my speciality, that division, but there's some big names out there. I think when I first saw the announcement, I couldn't believe I'd even heard of him. And then Bellew, you know, Bellew for me, you know my thoughts on Bellew, or most of you will know my thoughts on Bellew anyway, but this Makabu, I can just see Del Boy, even Del Boy, saying he doesn't have much of a chance against Makabu. You know, I've always said Tony Bellew will get horribly done when he fights at cruiserweight world title level. You know, I've always said that, and nothing I've seen has convinced me that he's addressing the areas that are problematic in his game. So, yeah, it's great that Bellew and Burns and Crolla and Groves and Murray are in this level of fight. But it's, you know, they're probably not superstar matchups. That's for Groves versus Murray. I like George Groves in that fight, actually. Martin Murray is a good boxer. I just don't think he's got the offensive prowess of George Groves. And I know George Groves has declined, and people think he's finished, and people think he's been cobra'd, you know, but I still think he's got stuff to offer, to be honest. Let's have a look then. Mike says, oh no, sorry, I need to scroll back up to the top. Good bit of chat has come through. Amigon, I'd love to see Chisora have another crack at a world title, but a Pulev fight would be a tough one. Yeah, Pulev Chisora is a real interesting fight, actually, for me. Chisora has historically struggled if people have been able to keep him on the outside at the end of a jab. And Pulev's got a world-class jab, and he's a world-class amateur boxer. I just wonder whether Pulev is someone you could rough up, you know, someone you could wrestle with a bit. And I just wonder the kind of pressure Derek Chisora can bring, you know, like when he did in that Edmund Gerber fight or in the Malik Scott fight. If he's following you around, throwing those awkward punches and hitting you to the body and getting up close and making it really unpleasant, then it becomes a 50-50 fight. But Pulev is clearly, I guess you could say, a betting favourite. A lot has to do with the shape that Derek Chisora comes in, because in order to be effective against Pulev for me, he's going to have to be getting low, bobbing and weaving, you know, moving a lot, really sort of pushing the pace. He can't allow this to be a slow pace fight from range where Pulev can establish his jab. So for me, a lot will depend on what kind of conditioning Derek Chisora comes in the ring in. By the way, if you're watching, we've got 30 people watching now. Hit the thumbs up button if you like what we're doing. Help me try and spread this to a wider audience. If you're not subscribed, please press the subscribe button as well. If anyone wants to Skype in, I'll just get the Skype up and running. I can see it. Sorry, I can see I've missed a call actually. So if that was you called in, please do feel free to call back again, and we'll get you guys live straight away. But yeah, Del Boy says, finger crossed we get to see Makabu put Tony Bellew to sleep. Mike says, glad to see Kid Galahad back. Most talented British fighter out there. Yeah, let's just hope his brother doesn't pour any more performance enhancing drugs into his drink, eh? Because then there'd be trouble. First Happy Last Feet says that's no pay-per-view card. I assume he's referring to George Groves versus Martin Murray. Got a call coming through. Jay, how you doing? Yeah, not bad. Sorry, let me just put you on speaker. No problem. Yeah, we're good. We're good. How are you getting on tonight?
I've been interested in Shannon Briggs.
Yes.
It's just been coming through on my phone. Those updates on YouTube, and yeah, it's like an accident, really. I think sometimes.
It's crazy, isn't it?
In the sense that it's just you can't keep your eyes off it. You want to watch it, but at times it can be pretty cringeworthy, I think.
Really is. It really is. I mean, I do buy into like the WWE style hyper-round fights, as I say, but this is a whole new level, isn't it?
I think you've got it spot on though with David Haye. Completely spot on. It's definitely a conspiracy right there.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's already done?
You know, I didn't really think about it until you mentioned it, and then it just all sort of makes sense, really, doesn't it? I mean, it's just like coming out, calling people out, saying he's got a one-way ticket. I mean, it's Shannon Briggs all over. But at the same time, I think David Haye's the king of hype, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. And I think I watched an interview with David Haye about Canelo and Khan. And the guy said to him, do you think, because Khan's been out for so long, he maybe lost his timing and lost a bit of his speed, etc., etc. And David Haye point blank, he said, I didn't lose any speed, I didn't lose any timing. You know, I'm basically where I was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think David Haye sees opportunity more than the names that he's fighting, if you see what I mean. It's more about tickets he can sell. Because he knows Eddie Hearn or whoever thinks the money, don't they, at the end of the day. So they'll make fights with him. So he'll be a draw, so he'll get that title shot that he wants.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I think he's really motoring for Anthony Joshua, isn't he? And I guess he needs to build his profile and you know, show the guys that he's still such a big draw.
And he's pretty much promoting himself, isn't he? So he knows that. I mean, where's he being shown? What channels are you going to show his fight on again? As I said.
No, it hasn't been announced at all yet. It could be Dave again. I think David Haye said that he does want it to be on terrestrial, though.
So exactly. So he's got to get some sort of name that's going to attract people. So by Shannon Briggs walking around the streets of England shouting, then you might get that average punter that will sort of might tune in for it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think that's what he's all about, really, to be honest. Because if you pull someone out like Blaskov or someone like that, you know, really, is he going to? I mean, he'll still get the ratings because of his David Haye, but you throw Shannon Briggs into it as well at the same time, and it's just gonna blow up, really, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Yeah, it's they're two of the biggest characters in heavyweight boxing, and I know it's probably not going to be the best fight in the world, but I would rather see a fight like this because of the build-up than like a sort of, a fight against a slightly better fighter with no personality.
But I don't think David Haye worries about that. I honestly don't think he worries about the standard of the people that he's fighting.
Yeah.
I think he believes himself that much that he just thinks it's not about that. It's just about getting my name out there so I can get to that title shot as quick as possible. Because I think he probably looks at everyone of those titleists and thinks I could beat all of them.
Yeah.
I really do think that he's going for the thing of not so much the rankings, but so much of the name, so much of the draw.
Yeah.
Bring those, because Martin at the end of the day has come over, hasn't he, for the cash?
Absolutely.
He's come over for the money because he's, it's well documented that he's not well known in America, so he's not going to get the big purses. And if he thinks that he can only hold on to the belt for so long, he's going to look for that big payout. And Shannon Briggs is the same. So Shannon Briggs is very clever, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Because he sees that as well, and he sees the money's being made in Britain, and Britain are paying big purses.
Absolutely, yeah.
And realistically, he's not going to beat David Haye. But what's he going to get paid for? Is that going to set him up? What's his financial situation?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, he's not going to beat any of the top fighters, to be honest. And if you look at where the money is, Wilder's out of action. Klitschko and Fury are both tied up. Obviously, Joshua's tied up. So if you take all of those names out of it, where is the big money? It probably is David Haye.
Yeah, and is Fury going to fight him?
Yeah.
Fury would never fight him.
Fury would never fight him, I don't think.
I mean, Joshua, I don't even think Joshua would fight him. I don't think Joshua needs to fight him, does he really?
Nah, I don't. I think they're going to use more like domestic names, like like Chisora, David Price, even a Dillian White rematch, even a Hughie Fury fight. I think they'll go down that route to sell the pay-per-views.
Yeah, I think, but I don't know. I don't know. Would David Price? I suppose they could get away with the David Price pay-per-view, but there'd be a lot of moaning over that, I would imagine. Yeah,
well, they'd have to bring back David Price first and get him to knock out a few tomato cans. But I'm sure they'd. To be honest, Anthony Joshua versus myself would probably be pay-per-view at a minute. He's such a big draw, isn't he?
But David Haye managed to sell Audrey Harrison.
This is it. Yeah.
Look how many people bought into that. And that was ridiculous. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. So I think as far as Shannon Briggs, Fury's out of it, Joshua's out of it, Deontay Wilder's not going to fight him. I think it's his only option, really, to be honest. And it's good. It works for David Haye. I think that's more the point. David Haye would not fight him unless it worked for him in some way.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. David Haye is he's someone who's very out for himself, isn't he? And he's very. Well, I suppose it's the only way to be if you're in the sport and stuff. But I don't see him wanting to necessarily fight the unglamorous, top 10 heavyweights like Kubrat Pulev or guys like that. I see him wanting to get his way to the top by the sort of celebrity and glamour of it rather than anything else.
Of course, there's only three people he really wants, and that's either Wilder, Fury, or Joshua.
Absolutely.
That's all that's on his mind, and the rest of it building up to that, as I said, it's just purely just to get his name out there, get his figures up, make him. I'm sure Eddie Hearn sits there and thinks, yes, that's just such a big money fight. He's just licking his lips, really, just waiting.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, he has to hold Joshua because I'm not sure how Joshua would fare against David Haye. So
I think Joshua he needs to step up in levels a little bit, and obviously fighting Charles Martin is a step up in level, but you can't go straight from Dillian White to David Haye, I don't think.
No, I think with Joshua they've been put in a really hard position, because there's the chance of the IBF, which he might not have got for a while, and if it's up there and the chance he could win a 50-50 possibly, then you've sort of got to take it. But even I think they would have liked to have held him back just a little bit longer, I think, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's too early. I think it's a dangerous move that they've made. I can understand why they've done it, but for me, to fight your first ever southpaw. To fight, he's big, he's southpaw, he hits hard, he's awkward, he judges range well. You know, it's a lot of unique pests all at the same time.
Yeah. But he's sort of one of those, isn't it? It's like, you know, can you take it? Can you? I mean, I'm sure if Deontay Wilder came up to him and said, right, instead of Martin, like, here's your title shot, they wouldn't have taken it. They would have gone, no. Same with Fury. But I think with this, I think for them it's a calculated gamble, really, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's spot on. That's spot on. Jay, I must crack on, mate. I'm getting sticky in the chat. But yeah, thanks very much for that, mate. I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, cheers, mate.
Cheers. See ya. Thanks very much for Jade calling in there. Anyone else want to call in? Got the Skype up and running. So yeah, call in. Let me go back to the chat. And I'm sorry, it's been too much of the chat to keep up with. So if you did say something and I've missed it, comment it again, and I'll try and come to it. But there's too much for me to scroll up through all the stuff I missed when I was on the phone there. Gaz said, wouldn't fancy Briggs' chances turning up at Fury's gym if Big John was there. Briggs versus Big John. Amigan says, let's go champion. Fury camp would be amazing banter. Yeah, we may even see it. Bullet Truth says he wants to see Briggs and Fury go at it. Jet says Briggs is a fraud. He can't take any of his smack serious. Evening, Jet. Callum says he's not interested in seeing Briggs fight anyone. He's not relevant and he doesn't deserve a paycheck like he's begging for. Ruben says Huey versus Anthony Joshua. Who wins? Wow. I really find that fight very tough to call, Ruben. And I know what you're going to say. I know you're thinking Huey Fury. And I don't disagree with you. I certainly think Huey Fury is a better pure boxer than Anthony Joshua. My only concern would be, because Huey's punching power is limited, I know the Furies think it's very good, but let's be honest, it's limited. I just wonder if Joshua would be able to walk him down a bit. Joshua is such a force of nature. You know, when he's unloading early on in a fight, you know, you need to be a real slick, experienced guy to know how to deal with the first few rounds like that. And I just don't feel yet that Huey has fought the level of opposition that could prepare him for that. Got to bear in mind, Huey's only 21 years old. So I would see it as a 50-50 fight, 50-50 fight at this point. Tom says, what about the Eubank versus Blackwell fight? Tom says, you know, you can get 11-4 on Eubank via points. I think that's a very good price, actually, Tom. I'm going to have a think about that. Eubanks on points would probably be my prediction. I don't think Blackwell's got enough offensive capability to knock Eubank out or to outpoint Eubank. But Blackwell, he's very tough, very, very fit. He's quite small, but he's tough and fit. And I feel he's a superior boxer to Spike O'Sullivan. So I don't think he will necessarily absorb the punishment and be as hittable as Spike was when they fought. Let's have a look. Jet says, sorry, he's at work, so he can't call in. Yes, no problem. Sorry, Jet. Yeah, hope work isn't too painful, mate, and we'll do something soon. Tom says, when do you think Fury and Klitschko will be announced, and what's the hold-up? I don't know what the problem with the hold-up is. I heard that initially it was due for May the 7th, I believe, which was the same night as Canelo Khan. And obviously both of those fights are probably going to be on pay-per-view. So maybe it was moved for that reason. You'd hope it would be announced in the next couple of weeks. Apparently Fury's back in the gym, which is good because he was looking a little bit fleshy. So we should hear soon. Amigon, some Briggs banter. Jacob Roberts says he saw my Facebook comment that Fury would KO Joshua. Yeah, Tyson Fury, I believe, destroys Joshua at this stage. First Happy Last Feet says Stavern versus Haye. What would happen? I'd pick David Haye in that fight. You know, Stavern was I quite liked Stavern, actually. I quite liked his style. He was bad beyond belief against Wilder, and bad beyond belief last time out against Derek Rossi as well. You know, I don't know what's really gone wrong with the main Stavern. He's got something to offer, but he's getting older. He clearly isn't in good condition. And, you know, I think David Haye would have the beating of him at this stage, definitely. Carl says, good evening, Tom. He's just tuned in. Will he be uploading this afterwards? Let's go, champ. Yeah, it will upload afterwards. Because it's a longer one, it takes ages to upload. So for me, can be up to an hour after the thing finishes that it will actually be uploaded on the channel. But yeah, it will go up afterwards. I always do upload them afterwards. There was one exception when I didn't, because I, you know, stuck. The upload was stuck, and I pressed delete by mistake, which was extremely frustrating. But yeah, it will go up afterwards. So we've been on for about 40 minutes, Cole, so you can check out what you missed. Bullet Truth says Fury Klitschko possible for July. Rough Muss, does Briggs' presence in the UK confirm a David Haye fight? Yeah, we covered that earlier, but in a one-word answer, yes, it does. Rick Cassidy, looking like Burns is set up for Broner if he wins against DeRocco. Yeah, I mean, whether Adrian Broner will be interested in that fight, I don't know. I know he'd get, you know, he'd be mandated to, but I can't see Adrian Broner being that motivated by belts personally. But who knows? Who knows? I don't think Ricky Burns is anything to worry Adrian Broner win at this stage, though. But yeah, hopefully Burns can beat DeRocco. I need to look into DeRocco. Has anyone here seen DeRocco? What do people rate DeRocco as? Callum B says Eubanks will stop him via British stoppage. It's possible. It's possible. Blackwell can move, though, and he can defend. You know, it'll be interesting. Bullet Truth says life-saving stoppage. MA4 says, is Briggs the next George Foreman? The answer to that is no. I haven't called Shannon Briggs myself, although I believe that Rob Plant, who is a well-known YouTube boxing community member, he's spoken to him. So Rob, if you're watching, let us know how your chat with Mr. Briggs went. Amigan says he reckons they'll be announcing Boxing Gossip versus David Haye. Yeah, I don't know what tactics I'd employ for that fight. I don't think my chin would hold up any better than Maury, sadly. Ruben Caddick says Price versus Hughie Fury, who wins? Price is dangerous because he's very tall and he hits very hard. He'd be the most dangerous opponent of Hughie's career. I would pick Hughie, though. I think Hughie is... at this stage, a level above David Price. Price needs to show something major. Better by far. I hope Duco don't win the purse bids for Parker to come. Parker fighting overseas is a very good thing. Completely agree. Wouldn't be bad at all for him. God, I'm getting stuck in the chat here. Hughie versus Price would be good, says Bullet Truth. Matthew says, got that mug. It's my girlfriend's mug. Do you still think that Amir Khan has no chance? If they fought 10 times, Amir would win once or twice. No, I think Amir would lose every time. I think he's got no chance against Canelo. Bullet Truth, Stavern hasn't got a decent record. He's beaten some decent-ish opponents. Not world-class, but decent-ish. Escabete says he agrees Parker's fight overseas. James likes the Hughie versus Price fight. Carl Stevenson says Hughie versus Briggs. He'd love to hear my thoughts. Hughie beats Briggs with relative ease. He needs to avoid Briggs for 2 rounds and then just move him and jab him for the next 10. And Briggs couldn't live with him. Hughie's too young, too fit, too strong. Bullet Truth says Hayward smashed the burn. Gaz said, did I see Fury's kickboxing lesson on Periscope? I didn't know. First happy last beats is call Briggs, get him live on. That would be good. Archie Ball says he can't wait to see Joshua get exposed April the 9th. And still, yeah, don't overlook Martin. Martin's a good fighter. JD says, am I interested in the Ward Barrera fight? I'm very interested in the Ward Barrera fight. Yeah, Real interesting. I hope Ward wins because I want to see Ward Kovalev. But Sullivan Barrera looks like a decent fighter. Not a bad matchup, that. So look. Jacob says, Klitschko top 10 really ruffled my feathers. Do you mean when I said he was all-time great top 10? So I'm really confident on that. Jet seen DeRocco. I knew you would have seen him, Jet. DeRocco is poor. He struggled at European level at 140. Yeah. Makes sense. Lots of talk about me calling Briggs. Maybe I should do. Not right now though, so I need to catch up on all your comments, cards. Ruben says, if Joshua knocked out Tyson Fury, would I cry? No, I wouldn't cry. No, I'd say congratulations to him because I don't believe he'd be able to breach the Fury defense. But yeah, so if I was wrong, I'd give him credit for it. Better by far says, who's the best fighter to never win a belt, Tua or Briggs? Briggs, as Jet then points out, Briggs is two-time world champion. MA4 says he's watching this on TV. Wow. Lucky guy to have my face across 40-inch flat screen, hey? Callum says, most anticipated fight of the year. Cannot wait for Slido Vargas. Well, for me, Wilder Povetkin, Joshua Martin, Fury Klitschko. I just got Rob Plant calling in. Rob, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up, mate? You alright?
Yeah, not so bad. What's this I hear about you speaking to Mr. Briggs?
Well, I've seen the number and I've seen the video and I've seen he shouted out the number. So I thought we got to ring it, and he wanted him to answer as one of his mates who answered.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, but then he passed it over and he's like, oh, do you know where David Haye is? I was like, no, I didn't know where he is. I just wanted to ring you. And he was just saying, oh, if you know where he is, give me a call. He's fucking crazy.
Do you reckon he's actually crazy? Or
I don't know. He's a normal family man, isn't he?
Part of me thinks he's very, very clever.
Oh, because he must be making some sort of money off this somehow.
Oh, mate, the fight with Haye must be signed. It must be. Like, apparently he's absolutely broke. So how's he flown over with a team of people and putting himself up in a hotel unless it's signed? You know, I just don't see it.
Exactly. He didn't go spending, it's quite a lot of fucking money to fly over from America to here and back.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be expensive. Oh, Robert's put me on hold.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think you put me on hold, mate, but you're back. People are sending me Briggs's number. I might try and give him a call live on air in a minute then. Oh, Rob, you put me on hold again, mate. I'll give Rob.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My missus just rang me and it's cut off.
Ah, good stuff. No worries. Fair enough. But yeah. So do you give him any chance against David Haye then?
Well, not really, but he has a chance in the first couple of rounds, I suppose, doesn't he? Just you have to put it on him straight away, I suppose. But I doubt it. But
Absolutely.
They're similar size and sort of physique as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Briggs is in pretty tremendous shape for 44 years old, isn't he? But he's a 3-round fighter at this stage for me.
Oh yeah, you can't imagine him going the distance with anybody, let alone someone in the top 10.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to give him a shout, Rob, in a minute. You know, I'm going to try and call him live on air, I think.
Give it a go. It took me a while to get through. Some people straight away. I rang about 5 times and then they went through.
That's funny. Yeah, I bet he's getting absolutely under siege. Yeah, but what do you make of all of the other UK fights then? Groves v Murray, Colabrose, Burns, Bellew. You looking forward to any of them in particular?
Yeah, the Colabrose one I think would be quite good.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's very possible that he loses that, to be fair. But and obviously Groves and Murray is potential to be quite a good scrap, really, because they both go for it. Yeah. They're tight fights, those two.
I think Barroso might be too good for Crawler.
Yeah,
I kind of lean to Groves in the Murray fight.
Yeah, so I'd expect Groves to win.
Yeah.
I would over Murray. I would, but I don't know. Murray he ain't bad, but he never. Well, I suppose they're both similar fighters. They never really get a decision. Never put enough in to get the decision and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely. No, it's gonna be good to see anyway. But cool, mate. I'm gonna crack on. I'm gonna call Shannon Briggs now. So stay tuned, yeah.
So yeah, just forgot to say. You noticed Chisora Pulev is supposed to be an IBF eliminator.
Yeah. I don't. They're both quite highly ranked anyway, though, aren't they? And it's not a final eliminator.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fair. Even if it was a final eliminator, it's really fair, really. Pulev's only lost to Klitschko, hasn't he? So.
Yeah, but they've already got the final eliminator, haven't they? Which is Takam v Parker.
Isn't that off?
No.
I heard it's off.
No, definitely on.
I heard there was some trouble with it. God knows.
I think they still haven't decided on a location.
Right.
But no, it's all going ahead, I think, mate.
Oh, that's good. It's a good fight.
But yeah, that'd be interesting anyway. But yeah, I think I hope Chisora beats Pulev, but I think Pulev definitely starts as favourite.
Yeah, I'd probably pick him to win. To be fair.
Absolutely. Cool, mate. Wicked. All right, Rob. I'll crack on. I'm gonna try and get Briggs on the phone. Oh, Rob's. I'm on hold again, Rob. So if you're watching this on the TV, I'll catch up with you soon, mate. Right. All right. Is this a bit silly? I'm gonna call Briggs then. All right. 017 931 096 361. Let's have a look.
The mobile phone you have called is not available.
Let's try one more time. 07 931 096 361.
The mobile phone you have called is not available.
No luck, guys. No luck. We'll try again some other time, maybe. Ruben says, call Briggs and tell him you've got David Haye with me. Oh dear, yeah, it's the same. That'd be a nice exclusive for the channel, wouldn't it? To get Shannon Briggs on live, calling out David Haye. Let's go, champ. James Vernon said I put it in wrong. Did I? All right, I'll try one more time then. If I put it in wrong, 07931 096 361.
The mobile phone you have called is not available.
Grant says Briggs probably spent his last castle living under a bridge sniffing glue. Yeah, it's the same. But no, to be honest, I imagine that giving out your number on IFL TV probably leads to a lot of calls. Which is it's quite funny. I wonder if David Haye has been seen by anyone since, or if he's had to hide away under his bed to avoid being seen. So yeah, guys, I'll get the Skype back up and running. Bear with me just for 2 ticks. Yeah, so Skype's back on. If anyone else wants to call in, do give us a shout. We'll get you on. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Ruben has given me a number which is not Shannon Briggs' mobile number. But yeah, Shannon Briggs is cracking me up, definitely. But yeah, no, it's good times in boxing. I mean, I'm hoping this press conference, Briggs versus Haye, is made soon. I think that will make for fairly entertaining viewing, definitely. But yeah, well, there should be a lot of big announcements to come out soon. Obviously, there's some slightly less inspiring fights as well, like Billy Joe Saunders versus Bursak, which is a disappointing fight. You know, I'm a big Billy Joe Saunders fan, but yeah, Murray Groves it's not superstar, but it's exciting for me. I'm looking forward to that. Carl makes a good point in the chat. Bute versus Badu Chak. Close fight. He edges to Bute. It is a close fight, but yeah, I edged to Badu Jack in that. But yeah, no, there's some good fights coming on. I'm looking forward to them, definitely. Rob says, sorry, mate, his missus rang again. No worries, Rob. No worries, mate. We didn't get through to Briggs either. Ruben gave me Pizza Hut's number. Cheers, Ruben. Better by Far says, have you talked to Tyson Fury? He would probably give you the time of day, being a big fan. I actually met Tyson Fury at the Derek Chisora weigh-in. At the time, my YouTube channel was, I did have a YouTube channel, but it was very, very small. Yeah, I'm not saying it's even medium size now. It's still very small, but previously it's very, very, very small. So yeah, I didn't really talk to him about YouTube and stuff. I just said hello to him. But yeah, he seemed like a good guy. Hopefully, I'll run into him again at some point in the future. Rothmar says, funny, Briggs walking through London, and every other person asking for a photo. The guy has 10,000 Twitter followers. Is he really that well known, or do people just want a photo? I think it's one of them things, like, I saw that on IFL TV, like, someone took a photo with him, and everyone was intrigued, so took one as well. Amigon says he thinks Bute could win against Badu Jack. A lot of people are talking about Briggs trying to hunt down David Haye. Fraser says, do I think Briggs would beat Wilder? No. You know, Wilder would have to be clever in the first round or two. Briggs could hit him on the chin, and Briggs does have game-changing power. First happy last beat says Briggs' phone is ringing again. All right. No, but all in all, I think Wilder just moves around him and outboxes him and then beats him up. Let's have a try that. Not available. Fifth and final time.
The mobile phone you have called.
No luck. Ruben, did I hear about Johnny Nelson lying about Fury picking Quigg over Frampton? Yeah, I actually read something about this on Twitter earlier, but I didn't really read the story. So I'm afraid I don't know the chat there, Ruben. But yeah, it's I recall Tyson Fury picking Carl Frampton. Bullet Truth is saying Cruller versus Barroso. I would say Barroso for me. I've actually never fully bought in to Anthony Cruller. Yeah, he's a nice guy. As I said, I met him and I was really taken aback by how nice he was. But he's just not, for me, his game is fairly ABC. There isn't too much elite in his game, whereas Barroso looked really, really impressive last time out. Escobate says, are you sure you got the number right? Well, I mean, it does. I guess so. Like, I guess so. Gaz says, to be fair, he had a hat with "Let's Go Champ" on it, and his name on his hoodie. It's making him easier to spot. Yeah, fair enough. Ruben says, I don't know the details, but apparently Nelson lied about it for no reason. Fraser Wilson says, do you think Fury will actually retire after his free fight list? Vlad, Wilder, and Joshua? It's possible, because let's say Fury beats Vlad, let's say Fury beats Wilder, and let's say he beats Joshua. You know, what is motivation is there for him to actually fight on? You know, what sort of, at that point he's established as a boxing legend. At that point he's financially very, very well off, one would presume. So what is his motivating factor to stay on, I think? Tom doesn't think he'll retire. MA4 says, my thoughts on Canelo versus Khan. Canelo all day, just all day and all night, and 7 days a week and twice on a Sunday. I don't give Khan any chance, MA4. You know, Khan's a good fighter, but he's easy to walk down. He's not defensively astute, and he doesn't have the ability to live with Canelo's power for me. Archie Balls, Eubank versus Blackwell prediction. I would go Eubank via points is my instinct. Carl Stevenson, Pulev versus Chisora. Ed's Pulev points, but it depends what kind of Chisora. I've just had a message on Skype. Hey, I found you on Skype Messenger directory. I'm recently single and dating sites suck, so I figured I'd give this a try. Can I ask you something? So I reply live on air to Ruby, who has found boxing.gossip at random on Skype. I'm going to reply. Sorry, I appreciate some of you guys would have been tuning in for like hardcore technical boxing analysis, but I just had a message on Skype and thought it would be somebody who was asking a question about the live show. But there we are. So I've replied. She's gone, can I ask you something? I've gone, sure, ask away. Let's have another look. MA4 agrees. He says Canelo. Rob says, what happened, Tom, was that he was on Sky Sports News. Nelson was on Sky Sports News, and they mentioned that Tyson Fury is leaning towards Martin. Johnny Nelson saying Tyson doesn't know what he's saying sometimes because he picked Quigg. Yeah. Could that have just been a simple mistake? Bullet Truth says Parker or Brown. I actually think that's a tough fight at the minute. Brown really impressed me last time out, and Parker wasn't too smart last time out. MA4 thinks Canelo. Amiga says Canelo will leave Khan in a red puddle. Delboy says the lightweight division looking really good. Bartholomew, Linares, Flanagan, all champs. Grosso will be champ soon. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Billy Joe versus Eubank 2 prediction. Billy Joe points. Billy Joe has improved. Eubank has also improved, but Eubank hasn't improved in the areas he needs to. Accuracy, defense, technical, you know. Eubank is just a battering ram and he can't be outboxed. Escapade says give her a reply. Del Boy says he doesn't think Fury gets through all these fights without taking an L. Callum says lightweight division's weak. Rancis cleans them all out. Linares is too old and injury plagued. Tom says it's Shannon Briggs. Better by far says Canelo's a great fighter. He could beat Mayweather if given a rematch. Rob says Nelson was sticking up for Joshua via lying. Gaz says it might be better than the Briggs call. Briggs in disguise, says Escabate. Carl says Bradley versus Pacquiao. Anyone interested? Yeah. I think Bradley. I agree with Bullet Truth. I'm picking Bradley in that fight. Pacquiao was looked out of ideas against Mayweather. I think Bradley is a real underrated fighter. I actually scored the first fight for Tim Bradley, which I know doesn't go down too well. Rob says it could be a mistake from Johnny. Johnny doesn't pick fights well himself, so he should have just kept quiet. MA4 says he wants Bradley to win and he might win. Gauss says, let's be fair, all Sky and Hearn employees are biased towards AJ. Amigan says, boxing gossip versus his brother, Adam Smith. Who wins? What are the odds? Well, I've had numerous fights with my brother over the years at various stages of our adult life. I don't know. We'd have to make some sort of catch weight because I've got about 45 pounds on him at the minute. Bullet Truth says he wants Bradley to win. Fraser says, have I ever met Coogan? Yeah, I've met Coogan twice actually. Seems like a nice guy. Bullet Truth agrees that the lightweight division is weak as well. Yeah, I mean, lightweight division domestically is very hot. I'd say that. You know, Luke Campbell, he'll come again. He's a good fighter. Burns, probably on the down, but he's been a good fighter. Mitchell's been a good fighter. Croller's on the way up. Flanagan's on the way up. You know, you've got guys like Tommy Coyle who are not really world class, but they're thereabouts. Scott Cardle could be a decent fighter. He needs to improve what he did last time out, definitely, but he's got some good skills, certainly. Callum says, Crawler is the champ at lightweight, enough said. Ruby is back in the mix on Skype. She says, what do you look at more in a girl, her ass or her breasts? Be honest. I have a bit of fun with this. Let's go. I'll go for me, I look for her, what's an obscure body part? Ears. Let's see what she comes back with. Right. Carl Stevenson, Zolani Tete, really likes his interview with IFL. He wants the biggest fights. Really likes Zolani Tete. Masterclass boxer. First happy last feat. World light heavyweight champion Jürgen Bremer challenged by Nathan Cleverly. Let's hope the fight actually goes ahead this time. We've heard about this fight so much. Fraser said, who would win a fight between me and Coogan? I reckon Coogan would win. Better boy fast, says I like Lucas Brown as a character, but he moves like a drunk sloth. To be fair, he actually moved very well, I thought, against Chigayev. He was relatively, I was amazed how light he was on his feet. Rob says Frampton Santa Cruz is made, isn't it? I have not heard that, Rob. That is big news to me, if true. Dad says Luke Campbell is sick, mate. No, I think Luke Campbell's pretty good, actually. I was at his last weigh-in in that fight he lost. He was weight drained to hell and back. He was in a bad way. I think he can come again if he makes the weight properly. Escobar, Tete was really impressive. I think he's world class. Let's have a look. Rough Moss says Santa Cruz beats Frampton in his opinion. Yeah, I don't disagree. Escobar says EFS are real. Did you know, Tom? I didn't know, but it doesn't surprise me. Bullet Truth says, sorry if I missed it. Ward v. Barrera. Yeah, I mean, I picked Andre Ward to win. He's probably the best fighter in the world, isn't he? Fraser Wilson says, what is my job? I'm a bouncer. Amigan says, after all the years, I hope that Bremer versus Cleverly fight happens. Yeah, I actually picked Cleverly to win it as well. Bullet Truth says, Escobar has lovely ears. Callum says, I hope Bremer grows some balls and fights Sergei so we never have to see him again. And Del Boy also wants to see Kovalev put Bremer out of his misery. Thing is, with these German fighters, you get quite a lot of them. Arthur Abraham's another example. They get so in their comfort zone of fighting at home. And, they're actually decent draws, and they sell tickets, they make decent money. They don't gamble for the real big fights because they don't need to. They're happy where they are. And I think Bremer's another one of those, basically. Rob says Santa Cruz is a much better version of Quigg in a sense. I think he'd wear Frampton down. He's big, he's relentless, he's a bully. Archie Ball says Mayweather versus Golovkin, who wins? I've always thought Mayweather. It would all depend on the weight, though. First happy, last feat. How much is left in boxing for Pacquiao? Not much for me. Escobar says Kovalev to beat Bremer by murder. Yeah, don't disagree. Rothmoss says most of these German fighters aren't German. Yeah. You get that with like Vladimir Klitschko, though, don't you? He's Ukrainian, but they become part of the German community. They get sort of taken in over there, and guys like Bremer, Abraham, Klitschko have really made it their home, haven't they? I don't know Bremer's heritage myself, but yeah. Callum says Abraham has fought names, though. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Bremer is a more extreme version. He hasn't really had that ambition to go on to global superstardom, has he? Carl says, with Triple G's advancing age, do you fear we'll miss out on big fights if he doesn't get a move on? Yeah. He's got, he has got a very limited lifespan. Bullet Truth says Ward versus Kovalev. That's the hardest fight to call in boxing. My instinct has always been side with Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward has a sort of a bit of invincibility about him for me, but real 50-50 fight. Callum says Bremer has fought literally no one. Escobeet says, what are the chances of Pacquiao retiring if he loses to Bradley? Very high. Better by far says, do you think the latest back and forth between Parker and Tyson was put on or genuine? No, I think it's genuine. I think Tyson likes Parker from a distance. I actually did a video on it, Better by far. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. As I said in that video, I think Tyson Fury is overlooking Callum a bit there. Callum says he should retire if he doesn't KO Bradley. Bradley's chin is crap. I'm not sure about that. Bradley's got a decent old chin for my money. Ruben, yeah, Tyson was quite pleasant to Parker over Twitter. Seemed to say he was going to smash up the camp. Tom, do you think Rigondeaux is one of the biggest wastes of talent? Certainly. Carl says Kovalev beats Ward. Bullet Truth says Pat-Man is trying to get into politics. There's a very high chance to retire, and MA forces Pacquiao will retire anyway. Guys, I want a slightly tighter timescale tonight. We've been going for 70 minutes. My throat is starting to hurt. I need to get another cup of tea in, I think. Thanks very, very much for joining me tonight. Much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. I hope you've enjoyed the back and forth. I hope you've enjoyed the Shannon Briggs conversation. Thanks very much to Jay and also to Rob for calling in. I guess if I need to start broadcasting these shows a bit more in advance, and then we will we'll get callers calling in perhaps. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. I hope everyone has a good evening. I'm going to call it a day now. And yeah, I hope to catch up with everyone soon. Thanks very much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel. Cheers, everyone. Catch you later.